I'm Matthew Player, CEO and co-founder of Zoneomics.
And Asim Mushtaq here. I'm the CDO and the co-founder of Zoneomics.
This is a conversation that we regularly have. What's come out from our amazing dev team and data team and the various AI engineers, what the team and also our product managers have been working on for our amazing customers. And so we wanted to kind of go through that, share that conversation as a way of highlighting some of the great improvements and various different releases that are constantly coming out. The site selection tool, obviously our prospector tool, which we have both available in API and on the platform. And the idea with the drawing tool is kind of moving from static location filters and then letting the user literally draw their investment thesis on the page to get their selection. Is that kind of the idea behind this and where this came about?
Yeah, exactly. So previously we had situations where we had you can either filter by city or a zip code, but we were getting feedback from clients that they want to have a custom area. So that might, be entirely restricted within a city or cross over municipality boundaries. So that's why we came up with this draw tool that allows the user to define their exact area of interest and go from there. All the rest of the filters will still be available that were available with the city and zip code level.
Instead of being restricted to zip code or city, I think what's important our clients is they think of it more as market or territory. And so instead of searching by a city or zip code, they can define their market and directly on the map generate the results of opportunities based on our amazing data. They get to even define it further if they're using the API version of it as well, right?
They'll have more flexibility in terms of drawing the polygon, you can say. They will be able to use a radius-based approach. They can do a extent approach, which is basically giving two ends of a rectangle, top left, bottom right. That's another way of doing it. Do a random boundary as well as much like the one that you're seeing on the screen right now. All those functionalities will be available on the API side of things as well.
It just gives them more access to this information that hasn't been available till now by being able to search across any market via the permitted land uses. Whether you're looking for your data center, site selection investor or broker, or you're looking for home sites or multifamily, or whether it's car wash sites, or you're particularly looking for restaurant locations. You can take whatever your market indicator is, whether that be foot traffic, connection points, take our data, and you're able to go, all right, well, this is where our market tells us where we can be. And with Zoneomics data within those markets, which a lot of the other data information providers provide you with, of, hey, you should be in this market, well, we can then pinpoint which properties in that market or that target area that you've or heat map area that you've identified, which actual properties that are so particularly off market or opportunity properties, which actually can do that use that you're looking for.
Good thing about this is that you can download this data. It's available to our users. They can download it, plug it into another system if they want to, or just if they want to plug it into the database, wherever. It's flexible. The data is available for them. It's not just something that they can look at on our platform.
Instant subscription switching. Zoneomics is obviously moving more and more product led, and the customer is product led. So they're moving between API, SaaS, adding various different API add-ons. And so we have to make our platform, and this is sort of a series of different things you guys have been working on that shows the maturity of the platform and our user base, and that they need this frictionless scaling and use of our platform, removing that friction, more user control growth, and Zoneomics being able to move with them as they expand their usage and their workflows on Zoneomics.
This is, again, something that we were hearing a lot from our clients. There were clients who had API subscription and wanted still to work on the platform, work with the prospecting tool that we were just showing earlier. There were clients who were on a lower tier of, let's say, the API or the platform itself, and they wanted more credits. We were getting a lot of requests. We were busy upgrading or changing the packages for those clients. So now that functionality is available on the platform itself. You can switch or add packages, add add-ons, so on and so forth. So that means someone who's using the platform can now add a package for the API as well, and vice versa.
All right. So we've been very quietly building Asim and our AI team and our zoning experts. Basset is our zoning intelligence layer. Artificial intelligence is a perfect solution for zoning, particularly as a data set. Zoning isn't static, contextual. Yep. The rules change depending on use, typology, overlays, specific conditions that apply to a property. Zoning as a data set, the fields can be presented as a static text. What Basset allows us to do is to interpret that complexity and structure for this model, add our entire intelligence into the system and the context that we know from that, all the intelligence that Zoneomics has, and allows Basset to interpret that complexity and structure it. So with this new Ask API endpoint, developers and startups can now programmatically submit zoning questions and retrieve, and they can build their workflow AI, their agents, their co-pilots that need this zoning intelligence. They're able to build from this. It's firstly available to our API clients. There's elements of it on the SaaS, and there's going to be more coming.
We have been using it internally quite a fair bit. I mean, our zoning analysts have been using it. To be honest, have started using it myself. So if we get a question from a customer about a particular zone, we used to go through the code and do all of that to make sure that the data is correct. But off late, if you get a query, I just put it in Basset, see what the results are, because with Basset, you also get the reference to the exact code. Recently, a very large client who was testing out both our zone detail API, which is very structured, sort of gives you very structured results. Like you get the zone code, you get the zone name, you get the PLUs, controls, everything laid out very nicely and neatly, which, we always thought you can just plug into a system that you want. And but they also started testing out the Basset API /ask. What I found interesting was they are heavily leaning towards the Basset API, just because it's able to give you that flexibility. You can get the results as you want them. And if you're able to give it some context, it gives you the results based on your context.
At the end of the day, this intelligence infrastructure is just badly needed for, the industry is moving that way for building agents, building workflow tasks, building co-pilots. The next step on that actually is the next item that we wanted to discuss today. Conditional controls API, which is actually come about and powered by API. So it's one of the examples of what Basset enables us is this conditional context aware building controls API. So it's sort of built on the foundations of Basset to provide this.
The conditions can be, if you're building a single family, the controls will be X. If you're building a multifamily or two family, the controls will be different, right? Based on what you're doing, the controls will change. The control values will change. And that's exactly where we're capturing that conditionality in this API. As you can see, we mentioned the exact condition and the value that applies to that condition, queried by address or by lat long pair, and it will give you the exact conditions that apply to that to a particular control and the values associated with that control. This is going to power a lot more things for us, and obviously for our clients. Based on the exact use type, we'll be able to mention capacity you will have on a particular lot. Using this in a lot of different ways, and we'll be making this available to our clients to use in a lot of different ways, adding more flexibility and adding more depth to our data.
Going to be many more releases. The velocity of the team is coming out with improvements and new products is just expanding. What we're going to be demonstrating from Zoneomics is we intend to continue to build that infrastructure layer that the industry needs. Back with Basset and these APIs, we've got Proptechs and large technology companies that are building on top of these. And so we're powering that innovation for all sorts of different applications and workflow tasks. But you're also seeing large traditional consulting firms that are clients of ours doing it as well. We've got a lot more to come, and we're excited about that. Checking in with these releases and letting everyone have some insight into these conversations that Asim and I have, so that our customers can get an understanding of what's just come out, what's the latest release, what's the intent behind it, was it customers pushing it, or and then what it allows them to do and the use case for those various tasks.